Hey everybody, my name is Steve, one of the performance coaches here at SSP. We're just jumping right back into our major series, which is how to improve athletic performance. But our mini series is how to warm up properly. And so we talk all day about, hey, we want to improve an athlete's movement. So we're going to work on acceleration one day, shuffling the next. But if we don't warm them up properly, we could possibly be putting them at risk for injury because they're not warmed up properly. But also we want to make sure that we can enhance performance. We want to get the most they can in their training sessions. And that warm up is so important to get their body and their nervous system ready for activity. So today's focus is primarily going to be on like rotational or crossover movements, basically moving in that rotational plane of motion. Because we've already covered linear warm-up and lateral warm-up, moving that frontal plane of motion. Now we're talking about stuff like turning and running, crossing over, or cutting. Stuff that we've already gone over, okay? So I'm going to bring in Sierra, and we're going to talk about how we're going to get everything warmed up. We've talked about it so far. Go and lay on your back for me, Sierra. We're going to want to warm up that core region. We want to get this firing and responsive and active for when they move, because they need their core to stabilize their spine through movement so they can produce power and transfer force. So we just want to get it warmed up right now. So we're going to have her just go ahead and put our arms and legs in the air, and we're going to do a dead bug. And we're going to do an opposite arm, opposite leg. So that core is having to stabilize a little bit of a rotational motion because she has one arm and the opposite leg opening up and going to the ground. So go ahead, Sierra, keep that right arm over your head and left leg to the ground. Now she's going to hold it for right now. One thing we really want to focus on is that low back. We want to make sure it's not arching. So as I go down there, I want to make sure there's no gap right here in her low back. I'll put my hand there and I'll test it, make sure she's firing through there. This is what I want. But so often athletes don't have that control, they're too weak to there, or they just don't know that they'll be arching. Go ahead and show us an arch real quick. We can see that big arch she's got going on back to that low back. Can't have it. That happens with the digress. Maybe she just does one arm at a time. Maybe she puts both legs up and just does one arm at a time. Go ahead and alternate arms for me. So she's going to alternate arms nice and slow, keeping it tight. And then maybe she just alternates just the legs. So go ahead and drop one leg out, keeping it tight. So if we have to digress it, we can, all right? So now real quick, I'm going to have her go opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping this tight. She'll do two each side, very slow and controlled. Go ahead and go when you're ready. She's going to pause for 2 seconds at the bottom, bringing it back up, and then switch it. Also works on hand-eye coordination and coordination of the limbs, right? She has to go ahead and decipher her right versus her left and have them move simultaneously. Okay, beautiful. Go ahead and relax. She can do that reps, or we can do iso holds, which just holds the bottom, right? Usually we're doing one set, maybe about 8 reps each side, or a 30-second hold each side to get that fired and warmed up, okay? So now let's get her up to her feet, and let's get her stretched out a little bit. So we're talking about rotational and crossover movements, right? So a lot of turning and running. So the outsides and the inside parts of her hips, we really want to get lengthened. We want the blood to flow through there. We want to get her ready to move like that later in the workout. Remember, crossing over is here, cutting and turning and opening up is more here. So we want to get that all warmed up. So we're going to have her do, to start with, it's just a knee hug to a sumo squat, really to get her warmed up through her inner thigh, her adductor complex. So go ahead, Sierra, she's going to go ahead and grab her knee. She's going to go ahead and give me a nice, good knee hug, pause it, balance, belly button tight, and then she's going to open up this right leg. Toes on the ground, butt back into a nice deep sumo squat, and then come back up. And then she's going to switch sides, okay? So we'll switch sides, give me a nice good knee hug, balance, stay nice and tall. She's squeezing through this butt cheek here, she's stabilizing here, and then she'll open up, toes straight ahead, drop down, hold it for about 2 seconds, and then come back out of it. Let's go ahead and do one more on each side. Let's face the camera so the camera can see. We'll go one more each side, Sierra. Go ahead with that right leg, get tall, good, open it up. We can see what she's doing, toes straight ahead, butt back, right? Bring it back around, we'll do one on the other side just like that. So now we've got her all nice and loosened up. This is once again about one set, 3 to 5 reps each side, okay? So now let's talk about the outside parts of her hips, right? Probably like her glute med, or her abductor complex out through here. So she's gonna squat down and go into a leg cradle, and then she's gonna go into a crossover lunge. So let's go ahead, she's gonna squat down once again. She's going to grab that leg, stand real tall. Now she's stretching the outside section of her hip. Now she's going to bring that leg back around and go into a crossover lunge for this front part of the hip right here. So it's getting both sides, left side and then right side. Go ahead and come back up and then switch sides. So now she'll get the left outside right here, once again holding for about 2 seconds on each stretch. Then she'll bring it back around. She'll square her hips up to make sure she stretches that right outside part of her hip, and then come back up. Let's go one more each side just like that, so we make sure we get her nice and warmed up. And once again, drop back around, arms in front, so you like good depth, right? Bending her back knee. We see her front knee and toe and hips pointed at you guys, not turning and opening up. Give me one more. Beautiful, nice, good stretch. And she'll bring it back around. Like I said, usually about 1 set. We don't want to smoke the athlete. We just want to get them warmed up, blood flow, and get these muscles stretched out. So now let's get her moving a little bit, right? And if we're talking about, hey, we're gonna be crossing her over today. She's gonna be standing here, turning and running at max speed with max force. We gotta get her warmed up. So she's gonna stand by the cone, and she's gonna once again do our marches and her skips like we've been working on, but she's gonna do it in a crossover. So we've done them straight ahead for linear. We've also marched and skipped laterally for shuffling. Now we'll do it for crossing over. So Sierra's gonna go ahead and just march in place right here. Once again, chest stays tall, knees up, toes up. She's striking the ground hard, so we're working on her arms, working on force production, and working on her tall pillar. And now she'll cross over. Notice she's pushing hard off that left leg. She's moving her body all the way over to this cone here. Same thing, march in place for me, knees up, toes up, nice and tall. Then take it back over, watch her push off that right leg. So that crossover is very, very important because I'm gonna ask her to do that later in the workout. But now I want to get more dynamic and I want to rev it up a little bit, right? So I'm getting the nervous system ready, I'm getting her body ready, and I'm starting to raise the intensity level because it's going to be an intense session later. So now she'll skip in place for us, attacking that ground, real aggressive on the skip, not trying to get height, trying to punch a hole in the ground, and she'll cross it over for us, pushing hard off that left leg, keeping the chest tall. Good, go ahead one more time, skip it in place, and now take it back over, punch hard to that ground with that right leg, kind of pushing for distance, but keeping herself tall. Right? Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sierra. We're usually doing that in a 5 to 10 yard-ish range. One set of marches, one set of skips, slowly kind of ramping her up. And now she's ready to go. So now we can get into the plyometrics or the movement skill, the power, the strength, all that stuff because she's properly warmed up for a rotational day. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you again soon.